Welcome back to Surviving and Thriving, where we share with you the things that we have learned as we have transitioned our family from struggling to survive disease to thriving right smack dab in the midst of it, in the hopes that something that we share with you will help you, enlighten you, and encourage you as you transition your family from struggling to survive disease to thriving right smack dab in the midst of it. No matter what we go through in life, right? Be it navigating through a pandemic, be it financial, relational, career wise, but most especially when you're overcoming health challenges, health issues, sickness, and disease, you have got to have a goal. And everyone's goal is not going to be the same, and no one can make your goal for you. It has to come from within you. If someone else sets a goal for you and you're trying to go for that goal, you're probably not going to attain it because you don't have the wherewithal within you, the resolve within you to rise up and overcome the many challenges that will come to try to stop you and hinder you from attaining your goal. You alone can set that goal for you. And when you set that goal for yourself, you got that gumption, right? You got that on the inside to help you to push through all the obstacles and navigate your safe way to get to where you're trying to go, right? So you have to have a goal, but you alone can set that goal for yourself. Now, when you have that goal, there are things you know you got to do to attain, to reach that goal, right? In order to attain that goal, there are things that you have to do, pathways you have to take to get there. Now, everybody might not understand your pathway, everybody might not agree with it, but you know what you have to do, right? Let me say this real quick. Everybody's goal is going to be different. No two people's goals should be exactly the same or exactly alike, okay? Everybody's goal is going to be different. Some people's goal may be more elaborate than other people's goal, but what do you care about somebody else's goal? Your focus is on the goal to get you to where you need to go. We applaud other people on their journeys, but their goal, we don't care about what they're going for. As long as they care about it, that's all that matters. So don't look at someone else's goal and try to make it to be what you need it to be. Keep your goal what you know you need it to be. There was a time my goal wasn't very elaborate. It wasn't to do something, great and awe-inspiring. It was just to stay alive. Praise God. Thank you, Jesus. I'm not in that anymore. But that's all I was trying to do is stay alive moment to moment. But I'm in a place now, right, where I'm not in that critical stage of just trying to stay on this earth. So I can focus on some other things. So your goals may change in different seasons, okay? And that's all right. So just be aware of that, okay? But when you're going for your goal, you know what you need to do. You don't know every detail of it, but there are some things in you you know you need to do. And everyone may not understand that, but that's okay. You understand it, okay? So let's talk a little bit about some of the things you're going to face as you're trying to attain those goals. Well, when you're trying to attain the goals, you're going to have naysayers. There are some naysayers out there who just want to distract you, who just don't want to see you succeed for whatever reason. May not have anything to do with you. I've learned that you've got to forgive those people and you've got to let them go and keep going on about your business, right? Because you don't need a root of bitterness and you don't need to be dealing with all the negativity that comes with that and the bad things it do to your body. So you got to let them go, but just be aware they're going to be out there. Now, just because you've experienced it a lot and just because you know they're going to be out there doesn't mean that when they come by, you're just going to be able to brush them off easy. There will be times that you'll be able to brush them off easy. There will be other times where they just plain flat out get on your nerves, rub you wrong, make you mad. Nothing wrong with being mad. Get mad, but get over it quick. Don't let the sun go down on your anger, right? Get over it quick because you don't need to be caught up with all the mess that comes with that. So just know that they're going to be there. And even though you know that they're going to be there, they still may bother you. That's okay. Get over it. And forgive them and move on, right? But also, there are going to be loved ones who love you, who care about you, whose intentions are the best for you, that will try to, they may seem like naysayers, right? Or try to distract you or detour you from going towards your goal or doing the steps that you need to make your goal. They may be for your goal, but they may try to stop you from doing the steps that you need to get to your goal. Now, a lot of times they do this, number one, is because they don't want to see you hurt. They don't want to see you in discomfort. They don't want to see you in pain. They don't want to see you go through the things that you have to go through in order to reach your goal. And that's understandable. That's understandable. Even in the Bible, Jesus, he had to go do something that was hard, right? And his disciple tried to distract him from that. But Jesus even had to tell his disciple, I rebuke you, get thee behind me. Why? Not because his disciple didn't love him. His disciple moved with the best intentions. His disciple moved out of love and out of protection for Jesus. However, Jesus knew that what he had to do is what he had to do. It was going to be hard. It wasn't going to be easy, right? It was going to be painful, but he had to do what he had to do. And so likewise in our life, we have to do what we have to do. Sometimes our loved ones don't want to see us hurt. They don't want to see us go through. But if we know we have to do what we have to do for life, then we have to do what we have to do for life. And so sometimes we may have to ask them to step back. Sometimes we may have to separate ourselves because their love and their goodwill is not really helping us right now. That's just something that you need to be aware of. That's part of it. And you will face that on multiple occasions throughout your life in all kinds of areas, but especially when you're dealing with health issues and you're overcoming and conquering the challenges that lie ahead of you. Another reason why sometimes people, good or bad, may try to discourage you from doing what you know you need to do is they don't understand that discomfort that they see, that pain they see you going through, the challenges, the inconveniences they see you going through, all that they're seeing you going through, that is part of the process. And that's important for you to understand as well. That is part of the process. You cannot attain anything without some sort of struggle, without it costing you something. And when you're dealing with health issues, especially, even navigating in this pandemic, it ain't gonna be comfortable. It's gonna challenge you. It's gonna hurt. It's gonna feel like you're supposed to be doing this. It is going to be it's going to be hard, to say the least, at times. Girls. One moment, please. I'm sorry about that. It is storming outside, and as trash cans roll down the street, my dogs are hearing them and they're barking at them. But sometimes people don't understand that that's part of the process. And you need to understand it's part of the process as well. The whole thing about attaining a goal is to get you from one place that you're not to a place that you want to be, okay? And when you're not something to get to something, it's going to cause some growth. And growth does not happen without struggle. It is part of the process. It comes with the package. It comes with it, right? And so that's something to be aware of. So a lot of times when people, whether they're meaning well or not meaning well, are trying to stop you because they see what you're going through, they don't understand that what you're doing and what you're going through is part of the process to get better. You have to go through that. You have to go through those challenges. You know that saying, no pain, no gain? In this situation, in these scenarios, that's true. No pain, no gain. If it's not costing you, if it's not challenging you, you're not gaining anything. You're not attaining anything, okay? If you can get something and it didn't challenge you in any way, then that didn't mean that you gained anything. That was already within your scope. That was already within your realm. But when you're trying to get something that's not within your scope, not within your realm, it's going to cost you one way or the other, and it ain't always going to feel good. Now, here's something else that comes with it that I want to talk to you about. There will be times, right? Well, let's say it like this. Just because you know what your goal is and you're clear about your goal and you even know what you need to get up and do to start taking the steps to make it towards those goals, right? So a lot of times the step you need to take is revealed to you only after you clear up that last step, right? You don't know every step ahead of you, but you know what you're supposed to be doing right now. and you're doing it, right? There'll be times that even though you know all of that, you're not feeling all that confident in what you know. Sometimes you might doubt, is this the right time to be doing this? Should I be doing this right now? Or you might just doubt, is this the right way to go at all? Usually when you're feeling that way and you're thinking that way, I'm going to tell you why you're doing that or thinking that. It's because it's hurting. It's because you don't want to do it. It's uncomfortable, right? It don't feel good. It's painful. Usually it's that kind of situation where you start doubting yourself and going, maybe I shouldn't be doing this right now. Maybe I should do this tomorrow. Or I got all these other things I need to do. If I do this, it's going to affect that. So maybe you'll come up with every excuse and every reason why you shouldn't do it. When you are exuding self-discipline and doing what you know you need to do, and your body don't like it, it's going to talk and talk loud and do everything it can to convince you why you should not be doing it. Now, when you have those thoughts, now that's natural. That's part of the process. Don't get mad at yourself, okay? You still push through it, all right? If you are able to and it's not going to hurt you, you push through it. Exude some self-discipline, right? Show some self-discipline. But when you're having them thoughts, let me tell you something. There is going to be somebody somewhere, whether it's a sign on a billboard, something that come on the radio, a commercial that come on TV, or somebody pass by you and shout out the window. I'm going to tell you, there's going to be somebody somewhere when you went deep in them thoughts and that's what you're feeling and you struggling, somebody going to come and tell you exactly what you're thinking, why you shouldn't do what you should be doing right now. What's a lesser alternative, or it don't take all of that, or why you making it harder than it need to be. Maybe you should just lay down. Somebody is going to come, right, and agree with what you're thinking. But you have to be able to discern within your heart, is that a confirmation of what you know you need to do, or is that just a confirmation and somebody affirming some negative thoughts to distract you from where you need to be? Because there are times, right, where it's hard to figure out if you can do what you need to do. Is this just me being tired and lazy and not wanting to do something? Or is this me because I'm really off right now? I'm really in a fight in my body. Sometimes it's a little hard to be able to differentiate between, can I get up and do this and I push through it and I'll be okay? Or is this one of those, if I get up and try, it's going to hurt myself, right? So you have to really be in tune to yourself, really in tune to the spirit to be able to discern those times. But just know somebody's going to come and try to stop you from doing what you need to do. And sometimes those people will have the credentials to be an authority or the experience. And so you can say, well, they should know. So, I better listen to them. Or it could just be, we'll just leave it at that. Just their titles, their credentials, their experiences, whatever it is, can come and make you think that maybe you shouldn't do it. Or because it's a person who loves you and who sees you. So maybe if they're seeing something that you don't see, those things will come up to you. But only you know in your heart what you need to be doing, and if that's a confirmation to stop, or is that just an agreement with the distracting thoughts that you're having to ignore it and avoid it, okay? But you got to be aware that that's going to happen. Because if every time somebody come and agree with them thoughts that you're having, you ain't going to reach it. You ain't going to reach your goal. It's kind of like, have you ever been on a diet or tried to fast, right? And your body's talking to you loud and telling you, you know what, go on over there and stop at that McDonald's, or go get you some pizza or something like that, right? Something you ain't supposed to be having. And you're battling on the inside trying to fight off them thoughts. Then everywhere you go, you turn on the radio and there's something about what it is you're thinking you want to eat. And then somebody else will come and tell you something else. And, oh, it's hot outside, so you better make sure that you don't, you stay well fed and you stay well hydrated, because the weather is like, and you say, oh, you know what, I better go because, the weather is like this. And right, I got to do this hard labor, so I better go eat that pizza. There's a lot of things you can eat other than that pizza or that McDonald's, right, to get to your goal. But sometimes things will pop out of everywhere to come and tell you what you want to hear, that agree with what you want to hear, so that you can do what you don't need to be doing, right? To stop you from doing what you do know you need to be doing. So just be aware that happens. That's a part of life, right? That happens. But you have to know what your goal is and what it takes for you to get there, and expect the unexpected. And be aware that it's going to hurt, that it ain't going to feel good. Sometimes things that are good for you actually don't feel good. It's kind of like I used to walk on my toes. I told you I had to learn how to re-walk several times. I was on my toes. My heels couldn't touch the ground. So part of what I had to do is I had to stretch. So I would stand on the stairs just on and let the weight of my body try to stretch out the back of my foot, my ankle, right? And that thing would hurt so bad. And I'd be seeing black dots and sweating, and it was painful. It didn't feel like a stretch. You know how you can stretch and it feels, you can feel like you're stretching. It's a little bit of a challenge, but it's not hurting you. It's a kind of feel good hurt, like hurt so good kind of thing, right? It feels good that you're stretching. It is kind of challenging you a little bit, but it's okay. Then there's a stretch when you know you're getting ready to pull something, right? This wasn't a pull something, and this wasn't that hurt, that feel good. This is painful, right? My muscles don't want to relax. That muscle doesn't want to stretch, and it didn't feel good. It was challenging me, and it hurt, and I couldn't breathe, and I was seeing spots, and it was awful. But I had to go through that so that I can lengthen that muscle back there, and I could actually put the heel of my foot on the ground. Now, if somebody could have came by and seen that and like, why are you over here about to pass out and you crying and you breathing hard and you sweating all over the place? Don't do that. Well, you know what? I had to do that unless I was going to be walking on my tippy toes for the rest of my life, and I would never get my foot down to the ground. So just be aware there are things that you're going to have to do that others may see you have to go through, but it's part of the process. There's things you're going to have to go through that you're not going to like, and it's going to hurt, but it's part of the process. And I can tell you that today I can put my heels on the ground, which is a blessing. And I'm working even more to get them even more looser than just putting them on the ground. But it's part of the process. So I hope something in there was helpful for you today. Remember, in all things, at all times, do you, be you. Until next time. Bye.